This is one of the most intriguing cases in the Philippines, grabbing a lot of public attention with multiple viewpoints. As the events unfolded, unexpected twists revealed a deeper mystery, leaving many grappling with shock and uncertainty. On a typical Monday morning in Cebu City, Barangay Tisa, the streets were busy with morning commuters. Around 7 a.m., something unusual caught the eye of several people. A large cardboard box was left by the side of the road. A security guard nearby thought it might have fallen off a delivery truck. However, others passing by began to notice a terrible smell coming from the box, and flies were buzzing around it. Despite the odd sight, no one stepped in to check it out. By 1 p.m., a street sweeper working in the area decided to move the box off the road, but found it too heavy to lift it by himself. He asked the barangay tanids, or village peacekeepers, for help. As they tried to pick it up, the flap of the box suddenly opened, and to their shock, an arm emerged. They quickly rushed to the barangay hall, their minds racing from what they had just seen. Captain Ringo Pana immediately contacted the Labangan police. When the police arrived, they confirmed everyone's worst fears. The box contained a body, which turned out to be the remains of a woman that was mistaken for trash. By 2 p.m., investigators arrived to examine the scene. They were shocked by the condition of the body. The woman's arms and legs were tied with aluminum cables, and she was wrapped in a white blanket. Her face had injuries, and bruises marked her body. Despite their thorough investigation, they could not identify her. They noted she had dyed blonde hair, was wearing a black sweater and black shorts, and her nails were well manicured. These details suggested she might not be a local resident of Tisa, but rather a visitor. Questions flooded in the minds of the investigators. Who was this woman? How did she end up here, treated so poorly? These uncertainties weighed heavily on them as they began to unravel the tragic circumstances surrounding her passing. The day after the tragic revelation, on July 18, 2023, investigators made a significant breakthrough by matching the unidentified woman's description to a recent missing persons report. The victim was identified as Rhea Tocmo, a 19-year-old from Mandaue City in Davao del Norte. She had come to Mandaue City in Cebu in search of job opportunities, arriving on June 11th, though some sources stated June 14th. It was clear she had been in Cebu for over a month. Investigators reached out to Rhea's friends and family for confirmation. They sadly verified that the body was indeed Rhea, recognizing her favorite black shorts and a necklace she always wore. Her family also noted that Rhea's smartphone and wallet were missing, which added to their concerns. To piece together Rhea's last activities, the police started collecting CCTV footage from places where she had been seen, including areas in Mandaue City where she was staying. They also checked the nearby inns, suspecting that the white blanket she was wrapped in might have come from one of these places. With each clue, they got closer to uncovering what happened to Rhea. But first, they needed to understand who she was. Rhea Tocmo was a 19-year-old from Davao del Norte. Her family and friends described her as kind and obedient, always putting her family first. Despite growing up in a challenging environment, Rhea was known for being thoughtful and willing to help others. She was very much loved by her parents and two sisters, and Rhea was the youngest in the family. Her father, Romeo Tocmo, highlighted her gentle nature and her dedication to her studies, determined to graduate from college so she could support her family. Rhea lived with her eldest sister, Ruchi, in Mandaue City while attending college. Ruchi, who ran a business, helped Rhea financially and appreciated her assistance in caring for her niece. Rhea's aunt in Sango, Cebu, remembered her as a loving person who had no enemies. Initially, Rhea studied criminology because she dreamed of becoming a police officer. However, she later considered switching to tourism and eventually decided to leave school altogether to work and help her family financially. Although her sister Ruchi was hesitant about Rhea quitting school, she eventually supported Rhea's decision to start working. Unexpectedly, Rhea traveled alone to Cebu for a job opportunity with her friend Jewel Smith. She didn't tell her family, who thought she was still in Davao. Rhea spent a few days at a staff house before moving to a boarding house in Mandaue City with Smith. After arriving in Cebu, she started working at a bar and restaurant, and her family had no idea where she was. They were shocked to learn she was in Cebu. Rhea called Ruchi and asked for help booking a ticket back to Davao for a family christening on July 21st. Rhea guessed her sister hadn't told their family about her trip to Cebu because she was afraid they would not allow her to go. She reassured her family that she was doing well in Cebu. Tragically, this would be the last time they heard from her. On July 16, 2023, several people, including Rhea's friend Jewel Smith and a vendor from a nearby food stall, reported that they last saw Rhea that day. The police reviewed CCTV footage from the area, and weeks after Rhea's death, important footage was found. It showed Rhea getting onto a yellow motorcycle outside her boarding house, with the driver wearing an orange shirt. Investigators tried to locate the motorcycle driver, as he was the last person known to see Rhea alive. They suspected that shortly after getting on the motorcycle, Rhea may have been forced into another vehicle by someone else. The route of that motorcycle is crucial. It went towards Cebu City. Unfortunately, it was difficult to identify the driver because his face was covered by a helmet. The footage has been sent to the Regional Anti-Cybercrime Unit for enhancement to see if they can get a clearer image. In the early stages of the investigation, police were deeply concerned about Rhea's condition, suspecting her face might have been burned with hot water or acid. However, further examination revealed bruises on her wrists and legs, along with a stab wound on her side. The autopsy confirmed that the cause of death was strangulation. The changes to her face were due to decomposition, not burns. 10 days after Rhea was last seen, there was a major breakthrough. Rhea's missing smartphone was found and brought to the police station by a man who said he had bought it from someone near Carbon Public Market. When he checked the phone, he saw photos of Rhea and recognized her as the victim discovered in an abandoned box. He reported this to the authorities just 2 days after purchasing the phone. CCTV footage near the Carbon Market captured the man who sold Rhea's phone. He was wearing an orange t-shirt, which connected him to the earlier investigation. The police labeled him as a person of interest in the case. They released his image in hopes of getting more information about Rhea. According to the police, the suspect had tried to unlock Rhea's phone but couldn't get in, so he decided to sell it for 1,700 pesos. The police asked the public for help in identifying and finding the man in the CCTV footage near the Carbon Market. On July 29th, the police arrested Simeon Gabutero Jr., a 22-year-old construction worker, for unlawfully possessing a firearm in Cebu City. While processing the arrest, the police recognized Gabutero as the man in the image released earlier by the police. Gabutero denied killing Rhea, claiming he didn't know her. In an interview, he said he did not know her. He admitted to selling her cell phone, saying he was following instructions from Roberto Gabizon, his neighbor, who gave him the phone on July 16th and told him to either unlock or sell it. He sold the phone for 1,700 pesos and gave the money to Gabizon, who then gave him 500 pesos as agreed. He insisted he had no idea the phone belonged to a possible murder victim and that Gabizon told him to keep the phone's ownership a secret. Gabutero did not turn himself in when he realized the police were looking for him because he was scared of being charged with the crime. During his confession, Gabutero revealed a troubling detail. He claimed to have seen Gabizon arguing with Rhea and trying to strangle her near an elementary school in Guadalupe, a day before Rhea's body was found in a cardboard box. To confirm Gabutero's claims, police tracked down Gabizon. During questioning, Gabizon denied knowing Gabutero or Rhea. Police initiated DNA testing for both suspects, believing it would establish a connection to evidence found at the crime scene. While waiting for results, several individuals came forward claiming to have information about the murder, leading to a lot of speculation on social media. A taxi driver, in an interview with a local radio station, said he had picked up passengers carrying a large, empty box. He described one passenger as a petite woman with various tattoos, accompanied by a foreign-looking man. The driver's description indirectly implicated Jewel Smith, Rhea's friend. Jewel visited the police station, visibly upset, to defend herself. She insisted she was innocent and hadn't left her boarding house in Mandaue City since finishing her shift at a bar. She stated that she was at home and her neighbors could confirm that, adding that she didn't like going out. She denied being in that area, and the last time she saw Rhea was on July 16th. Since the taxi driver spoke to the police, Jewel Smith and her family faced online hate and false accusations, with her photos shared without consent. In response, the police urged people to report information directly to them rather than on social media. Jewel is considering legal action against the taxi driver for spreading false information and causing her family distress. When Rhea did not return to her boarding house the next day, Jewel filed a missing persons report. As the investigation progressed, police considered statements from both the taxi driver and Jewel but remained focused on Simeon Gabutero and Roberto Gabizon as their main suspects, ruling out Smith and acknowledging her cooperation. On August 10th, Simeon Gabutero Jr. finally confessed to the crime. The police announced in a press conference that murder charges would be filed against Gabutero. His confession came after DNA test results revealed that samples found under Rhea's fingernails matched Gabutero's DNA. He admitted to killing Rhea Mae when she visited his boarding house early on the morning of July 16th. Gabutero claimed that Rhea, whom he had met on Facebook, was his girlfriend. They had been in a long-distance relationship since December 5, 2022, but had never met in person until July 16th. On that day, they agreed to meet at Gabutero's boarding house around 6 a.m. Gabutero said he became furious when he discovered that Rhea had multiple Facebook accounts and was receiving messages from other men. His jealousy grew, especially since he had been sending her money from his small earnings. Gabutero earned only 400 pesos a day as a construction worker and felt frustrated when he found his money was being wasted. When he confronted Rhea about it, she laughed, which made him even angrier. In his rage, he squeezed her neck. Rhea didn't scream but tried to hold onto his hand to resist. Jewel Smith, Rhea's friend, mentioned that Rhea had been drinking before the incident, which might have affected her ability to fight back. Gabutero was also upset that Rhea hadn't told him she was coming to Cebu. After realizing she was no longer breathing, he wrapped her in a blanket, tied her up, and put her in a cardboard box. With help from another person, he transported her body on his motorcycle and dumped it in a secluded area in Tisa. Gabutero denied burning Rhea's face, explaining that the changes to her appearance could have been due to decomposition, as she had been dead for more than 24 hours. The police showed Rhea's family the evidence that proved Simeon Gabutero was responsible for her murder. This included a black jacket worn by Gabutero and a red helmet and white jacket worn by his younger brother during the disposal of Rhea's body. They also had Gabutero's bag and the shirt he wore when he sold Rhea's cell phone. In an official statement, Gabutero's younger brother recounted that they carried a cardboard box that Gabutero claimed contained clothes. The brother was unaware he was helping to dispose of a body, which was discovered the next morning by the roadside. The evidence began to pile up against Simeon Gabutero, including CCTV footage, witness statements, and forensic findings. The police confirmed that the recordings matched the timeline and actions described by Gabutero's younger brother. They announced that the murder case against Gabutero would proceed once all paperwork was completed. Rhea's father, Romeo, thanked the police for their swift action. Despite the immense pain, their faith in the justice system offered some closure, though the loss of Rhea would always be felt. Adding to Gabutero's case was a neighbor's statement that he saw Simeon with scratches on his arm, which matched the findings from the PNP forensic unit. They believed Rhea fought for her life, leaving crucial DNA evidence under her nails, which was confirmed to belong to Gabutero. In September, Gabutero reiterated his confession to reporters from his detention cell, stating that he killed Rhea Mae Tocmo and that was not forced to admit it. Meanwhile, a woman named Bianca Lee accused Rhea's friend Jewel Smith of involvement in the murder on social media and a radio show. Gabutero dismissed these claims, insisting he had never met Jewel. In response, the police urged the public to provide real evidence through proper channels, rather than spreading unverified rumors. He emphasized that justice must come through the legal system. Amid all the rumors and debates, it's crucial to keep in mind that Rhea was a young woman with dreams and aspirations, striving to support her family. Her case shows the hard work of police officers who, despite facing criticism, are determined to find justice for her and her family. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more true crime content. See you next time.